why doesn't the US give nuclear weapons to Taiwan? A state of deterrence might prevent war. Interesting question. If you look at the US policies over the past many decades, they have nuclear weapons in various parts of the world that are not their territory. First of all, they have nukes on submarines, right? Nuclear weapons on submarines. They have a massive arsenal of ballistic missiles that can deliver nuclear warheads to any part of the world. They also have nuclear weapons in various parts of Europe, right? The UK, which is a US colony or vassal state, has a number of nuclear submarines that have British nuclear warheads mated to American. I think it's the Trident missile or the Polaris. Polaris is obsolete, I believe. One of the US ballistic missiles. So I believe the launch codes are not available with the UK Prime Minister. They are actually in the hands of the Americans. So it's nukes only in name. So the UK has American missiles mated to British warheads. So you can say it's essentially American nukes that the UK nominally has. Then I believe that in the Netherlands and in Turkey as well, there are American nuclear missiles deployed there. So they are not in the hands of the local governments. They are entirely under the control of the US military and the US government. But they have been deployed in these places. I think it's the Netherlands, possibly Belgium, Turkey for sure, and so on. So the Americans do that, but they don't give that nation the control over those weapons. So what about Taiwan? Let's go back to the map because it makes sense to look at the map. So we have Taiwan here. Let's say the Americans place nuclear missiles in Taiwan in order to, let's say, deter Chinese aggression, right? Is it not possible that the Taiwanese, if they are put under a state of siege for months, maybe 2 years, 3 years, they may get fed up and they may open the gates for the Chinese to come in, and then those nukes may fall into the Chinese hands and they will have access to American nuclear weapons technology and missile technology? Is it not possible? Is it not possible that you might have Chinese spies on Taiwanese territory that might possibly try to leak out certain secrets? If Taiwan falls for whatever reason, those nukes, those missiles will immediately go into the hands of the Chinese. When the Americans did this attack on this operation in Abbottabad to take out apparently Osama bin Laden, one of their helicopters malfunctioned. They had to destroy it, and then the Pakistanis handed over the remains of the helicopter to the Chinese. This was a secret helicopter. It was a classified helicopter whose existence had not yet been disclosed to the public. Right? So there was some advanced technology. There were certain advanced technologies in the helicopter, some stealth technologies, some coating material, which would radar absorbent material, and various other things as well. So whatever was left of the helicopter, they had to destroy that helicopter in a great haste. They put some plastic explosive or whatever, some charges, and they blew it up. But much of it still remained intact. It was no longer functional, but you could study it very well. It's not like the BrahMos missile that went into Pakistan and was completely mangled out of shape, nothing left of it. So the Pakistanis could not glean any information or technology from it. The helicopter had some valuable technology, and the Chinese took that. So the Americans do not want such things to happen again. So far away from American control. Taiwan is a fortress surrounded by the wolves, essentially. When it comes to Europe, Western Europe is entirely under US control. So it's perfectly safe to place American nuclear weapons and missiles in Western Europe, in the Netherlands, in the UK. Even Turkey is greatly dependent on the Americans. The Middle East is entirely, essentially, under American control. So is Egypt, so is North Africa, so is the Mediterranean region. So it is safe to deploy American nuclear weapons and missiles on Turkish territory. When it comes to Taiwan, it is an extremely hostile territory. It is not safe for the Americans to place their extremely sensitive technologies and weapons over here. So I believe that is the reason why the Americans have never done this. And of course, that would provoke China incredibly, to an incredible extent. If you place nuclear weapons there but don't disclose it, then the entire purpose of deterrence doesn't happen. But if you place nuclear weapons there and and you disclose that, that is going to be seen as an extremely grave provocation, almost like a declaration of war by the Chinese. And then there will be consequences at various levels, at various orders of magnitude. Then it will be legitimate for the Chinese to escalate, to ratchet up tensions in North Korea, start something there, because North Korea is controlled by the Chinese. They could escalate matters with the Japanese in the Senkaku, Diaoyu Islands, etc. They could do all kinds of things, and the Americans most likely don't want things to escalate that far. They want a controlled escalation. Eventually, they want a bifurcation of the world order, a bipolar world, China and Iran and Russia on one side, and the Americans and the other nations on the other side. Bipolar world. The Chinese want a unipolar world. India, Russia, France, etc. want a multipolar world. So that is the game that is being played right now, right? So that, in short, is the reason why the Americans have not given nuclear weapons to the Taiwanese.